March madness begins. March is the craziest, most intense and happening month in 2025. We're going to have two eclipses. We're going to have Venus and Mercury going retrograde. We're going to have Neptune moving into Aries. Bam, bam, bam. Each one of those events is big astrological events. Put all five together, and I called it March Madness. So this is very important to watch, to be prepared. The layers will be shifting, the directions of our lives with eclipses, fated events get activated in our lives. With retrograde planets, we turn direction, we start changing how we feel, think, and feel about something. With eclipses, we totally derail the train onto another direction, basically. So, wow. And it's all happening in Aries, around the Aries area. But actually, to know specifically how this is going to affect you, you can, even if you're not looking at this video, you can just go to my transit calendar, personal transit calendar at astrolada.com, enter your birth details. No one else in the world will have the same transits like you have. These videos that I do for each of the 12 signs, they're just for your ascendant sign or sun sign or moon sign. But this calculator calculates every position of the planet in your horoscope. Is it Saturn? Is it Mercury? Is it Venus? And it gives you the transits that you're going to have day by day. It's only free for 7 days, but each 7 days it gets updated. So you always see 7 days ahead, but you can open for a longer period. And if you want to see those eclipses, one in Virgo, one in Aries, will directly affect you, you can check. For example, this is my horoscope. The eclipse is directly affecting me. It's conjunct my Mercury. It will totally turn around anything connected with Mercury in my horoscope. And look how many extensive interpretations there are. Or what other transits will retrograde Venus directly? They affect you directly. You look at transits of Venus. Oh yes, retrograde Venus will be opposite my Jupiter. Retrograde Venus will be square trine my Uranus. You can see much more specifically than those videos how you will be affected. And of course, we end with Neptune in Aries. Crazy. The eclipse, I don't know what's going to happen with the world. Let me just be honest. There might be big revelation of markets with those retrogrades, Mercury and Venus next to Saturn, next to Neptune, eclipse on the same degree. Some big news with wars and peace, because it's all happening in Aries. The world either getting in arms or disarming. I don't know which way it goes exactly. Big eclipse, lunar eclipse in Virgo. Virgo is the sign of the working class people, is the sign of the medical and hospital industries and the diseases as well. So where is going to hit us from? I don't know. This eclipse in Virgo is exactly opposite Saturn and opposite Neptune. So you have to be more careful with health, because this is the axis of illnesses, diseases as well, water, matters connected to water. But then all the action is also in Aries. So we have water, fire. Let's start. I'm not going to go for the whole world, but individually, because you're important, how you're going to deal with these energies in your life. And believe me, this is once in a year, very rare opportunity, a lifetime, to really reset in a big way a certain area of your life where all this action is happening, whatever areas is. Let's begin. And by the way, I have 5-hour video for Neptune in Aries, for each one individually, only for personal predictions. It's only $20. It covers all possible transits Neptune can have to personal planets over the next 13 years, sextiles, trines, oppositions on Neptune through each house, and they're all full of personal stories that I've watched people for the last 20 years, how they overcome Neptune transit, what happens in their life. I give you many stories from the highest to the lowest, remedies how to deal with that, and I also explain to you how to find all the transits. Very easy, you don't need to know any astrology. This is my love of work, my work of love, sorry. Neptune's affecting me already. For you, if you'd like to get it, I'm putting a link below the description. Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising, March 2023. Capricorn, the month starts with Venus going retrograde in your fifth house. In your fourth house. But Mercury will also go retrograde in your fourth house in the middle of the month. And there'll be an eclipse in your fourth house, again, around the same degree, around 9 degrees. Venus goes retrograde on 9. Mercury around 9-10 degrees, and the eclipse is at 9-10 degrees. So if you're a Capricorn, around 7, 8, or even the first 10, 11 degrees of Capricorn, you'd feel those planets the strongest because they're going to square you. The eclipse, Venus, Mercury. So the December-born Capricorns, they'll feel the impact in March the strongest. So they can have a bit more surprises, so to speak, because when a planet goes retrograde, or those born the first 10, 11 degrees, 12, which means your moon or ascendant is in those 10, 11 degrees, there can be some surprises. What it means, like everything is going normal, especially in your everyday life. The fourth house is your family, your private life, or even your career, because they aspect the 10th house in your public life, and there is surprise. You have to change something. Something is not going like you expected, but it might go even better because you have to correct something, and the final result is even better. So this month is month of especially the earlier Capricorns, but even later Capricorns, because Venus, Mercury, and the eclipse are all happening in your fourth house. It's a cardinal house. It's important part of you, directly affects you. So there can be some changes with your personal life, for example. How can it play? Some of you might relocate, March, April as well. This is active, the energies transfer then. Some of you might make some changes in their home. They decide to renovate, but there might be some delays with two retrograde planets. So they keep changing. Oh, the color will be beige. No, it will be blue or whatever. There's this rearrangement of energies. Or you might have been building a house and you need to change something. Or you might be trying to buy or sell a house. There might be some delay with the contract, with the selling, but that might be good because you might do some improvements, some changes there that sells the house after that in April or May for an even higher price. So you see some of those things with real estate, with property, or maybe some repairs at your home, or maybe moving furniture, rearranging something that can happen, or rearranging the dynamics of your family. Maybe some things were not said between you and your parents, or between you and extended family, or your personal family, or people that you live with, that now can be brought up to the surface. Maybe you're not happy with how things are run in home, or the dynamics and the roles everyone plays there, and you have new rules now in your private life. But again, remember, all those planets are aspecting directly opposite your 10th house of career. So it can also mean with your public roles, with your careers, that there's some realignment, some changes, some adjustments that you have to get used to, and that can also impact your personal life in some way. But yeah, you might just, in a very positive way, turn back to the country you are from to visit your family, or a place you used to live before. Or you might decide that the place you're living now, you don't like it anymore. You need to change something, or you need to go back to a place you used to be before, or to start the process of researching what can be a better place or better living circumstances for you in some way. Or maybe you might have to repair something there. And I'll give you a very simple tip and remedy to go through those energies with ease. Maybe do some, because Aries, where everything is happening, is about action. So do some maybe spring cleaning around your house, or connect to relatives, so to parents that you haven't been connected with. But also, yes, there is a danger of some crisis to happen in the family. What do I mean? Maybe something that wasn't said that needs to be addressed, or with your parents, or, it is, there's easier and there's less easier manifestations. So you have to be prepared for each of them, like some conflict that something needs to be talked out through, to be made more fair, to be made more just for both sides. more balance. So ultimately by end of April, the beginning of May, you might end up with much better place of living, much more harmonious relationships in the family or in your personal life, or some big decision that you took together as a family for some important change that you're going to do. Also, it might mean revisiting your childhood memories and past, and actually even eliminating certain relationships with family members who are being too toxic or who are not being fair and balanced if they don't want to meet you at the level you want to meet them, or if you don't want to meet them at the level they want to meet you. These are some of other potential possibilities. But also it's about deeper realizations about your past, about your ancestor patterns, about patterns that repeat all the time that you might be able to eliminate and to restart your personal life. The fourth house is the foundation. What you step on, it's at the bottom. And if you haven't sorted, forgiven, spoken things with loved ones or about your feelings, even if you don't have a life loved ones, maybe speaking with a psychologist about the past, about your family, about your raising, about how your parents always, what their attitudes was, for example, about money, or what their attitudes was about repeating patterns, about relationships, and how you're repeating them. You have a chance to really realize this on a deeper level and correct it, because that's the ultimate goal of a retrograde planet, to see it from an alternative perspective, to be able to forgive them, to see it from a higher perspective, and to correct it, to change those dynamics so you don't repeat the same ancestral patterns. And of course, if you do this internal work, there is an eclipse at the very end of the month in March, which will be active for 6 months after that. And it's an eclipse of new beginnings. It's new moon eclipse. It's very more powerful than a new moon, 3 times more powerful, because it's also an eclipse. It's with the North Node, which means that it's giving you the chance to restart your personal life, to restart the foundation in your life, maybe physically as well, externally, to have a new home, to start a new family, to settle down over the next 6 months, to become a parent, or to restart and to shift the dynamics again, to renew them, to renew their relationships with loved or close family members, to enter a new family, to welcome a new family member. But first you might have to clean up some of the misunderstandings there and some of the buried things. But yeah, even if it's not connected directly to your family, just Venus or Mercury squaring, or the eclipse squaring those first 10, 11 degrees of Capricorn can mean that, yeah, you might have certain plans, but you might have to reschedule, to redo something, to slow down, to re-examine something, to be prepared for plan B and C, to be a bit more careful with communication, because Mercury is square. After all, communication, passwords, devices, to make them more secure, for example, or to decide who you communicate, because Venus and Mercury are 2 very social planets, both of them squaring them, because your internal needs are changing. They're squaring from the 4th house. It can be like a sign for you that because your internal needs are changing, how you feel about things is changing, that can impact certain relationships for you, that can impact certain affiliations and connections with others, and who is in your life, and what rules you have for them, and but also it's about reconnecting with people from the past to straighten some things, let's say, or to restart some things as well. Then we have another big eclipse. This is a lunar eclipse in the middle of the month, right when Mercury is turning retrograde in your 4th house, and Mercury rules your 9th house where the eclipse is happening. It's a full moon eclipse. And we have to combine the meanings of the 9th and the 4th houses, because the Mercury turning retrograde and your 9th house eclipse, they're connected through the ruler. For example, because your internal values and your internal world and emotions, or some changes in your family circumstances, can make a shift where you live to be connected somehow to foreign countries, or relocation, or because 9th house is faraway places, or maybe some trip, family trip for some of you. retrograde trips, okay, or trip to a place that makes you reconnect with the past and with the roots and gives you answers. Or they can be some clashes of opinions. Ninth house is your beliefs, and because also your beliefs are changing through this eclipse, which can reflect on the family harmony and how the family dynamics are. Maybe your perspective is shifting, you're letting go of old beliefs with this eclipse, because this eclipse of releasing, being freed from propaganda, from previous prejudices, from previous or belief systems that no longer serve you, way of looking at life that no longer serves you. And because of this, it can affect your whole personal plans for your life, and shift also your family, your personal circumstances in some way. Of course, be careful about fighting about politics or ideologies with family members and stuff like that. It is also some kind of a possibility. It can also be this ninth house is about beliefs, fourth house is about and programming, cultural, religious, or and especially family programming, breaking through the old molds. We see how these are combined, of family programming and disconnecting yourself from those and their ancestral curses, as we call them, repeating patterns, because your beliefs, you're dropping away years of propaganda and beliefs that are not serving you. All right, so something maybe with foreign places, place of living, or belief systems, or maybe your education, you complete some course of education, the full moon eclipse in the ninth house, or maybe you bring out some project, education, or knowledge, or you bring out some knowledge to the world with this full moon eclipse in the ninth house. And then the last eclipse, as we said, is also in your fourth house. It opens this new opportunities for your personal life, to this rejuvenation, rebirth of the soul of your, like, even if you might feel that the carpet is pulled from under your feet in this fourth house of this foundation, new carpet is placed, a better, shinier, maybe flying carpet, because Neptune also joins the very last day of March. Oh, this party here in Aries. Neptune will be there for 6 months, then it dips out for 4 or 5 months back into your third house, and then it moves from 2026 for 13 years into your fourth house. So you're gonna get the feeling of what is to have Neptune in your fourth house. And ultimately, it's about transcendence, transcending the possibility of what it was, you felt it was possible. And that's about your private life. Maybe some of you might get the dream family, the dream house, the dream safe haven and place of living over the next 13 years. So maybe you can really transcend the old ancestral and parental curses and blockages that were holding you down. Neptune, of course, is going to square Capricorn for the next 13 years. So there is a bit of a more challenging energy of it. Again, it's like pulling up the carpet from under your feet, but that's also about possibility to relocate to faraway places. This is how you dissolve the bonds to the ancestors as well sometimes, or creating your own magical foundation in life, whether it's with your cats, whether it's with your garden, whether it's with your brand new family or group of family that you feel like family, group of people that you feel like family, but to create a new vision, new ideal about this most sacred fourth house. Fourth house rules the true happiness, the sense of content, the sense of feeling you belong, the sense of feeling you are grounded. And Neptune wants to create, to dissolve the connection to the old, to create a new one, of new reality there for you. But I go through Neptune, through each house for 30 minutes for each house in multiple stories and life examples, how it can play out and how it's played out for people, like this friend who got her dream house when Neptune entered her fourth house, or another one that her house flooded, or another one. It can play in so many different ways. I tried to cover each possible one that I've noticed. And plus Neptune making any transits, Neptune square your Sun or Venus, Neptune trine your Mars, Neptune opposition your Saturn. How is it going to play out? Again, with personal stories and remedies, an example how to navigate those waters of which can be quite nebulous and can be quite dreamy sometimes and confusing. But what is the state of consciousness to keep, an attitude to really benefit the most from Neptune? It's only $20, that webinar, if you're interested. It's my best-selling and record-selling, actually, project that I brought out this year. I poured my soul into it, and I'm offering it. Usually it's $300 for 5 hours. This is $20 only. But yeah, Capricorn, just remember, there is this new horizons here with the full moon, because you're expanding your knowledge, because you're letting go of past beliefs. With this eclipse, there is new opportunities that will be presented to you. But first, you're cleaning up house, and literally do clean your house with Mercury and Venus retrograde in your fourth house. That will be very helpful. And cleaning up the old feelings, and a restart on a deep psychological level that can bring more joy, fulfillment, a sense of happiness inside, truly. All right. And of course, Mars continues to be in your seventh house, opposing, but it's moving direct already. The last 10 degrees, well, actually from 17 to 23, 4 degrees, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, they'll feel the opposition from Mars. So there'll be a lot of activities through others. There might be a bit of a challenge that comes to them through others, but it's only to activate them to do something in a different way, or to get you moving in some way. So thank you so much, and may you all be blessed by the magic of the eclipses, your soul to realign, and of Neptune entering your fourth house.